This is Inside Indiana Business Radio on demand for Thursday, July 13th, 2023. I'm Gary Dick. Well, the wave of unionization efforts at Starbucks locations around the country is growing, and that includes Indiana. In the past year, 3 Starbucks locations in the state have unionized or are in the process of doing so, including Clarksville and Valparaiso. An Eastside Bloomington location is the latest to join the movement, with a unionization vote expected in the coming weeks, says barista Stephanie Sharp.
The point of unionization is collectively standing up, coming together, and people just tend to be afraid of being the first one to stand up and say something.
The Evansville Regional Economic Partnership says CEO Tara Barney plans to retire in 2024. Barney has led EREP since April of 2021, when 3 regional economic development organizations merged into one. Barney previously served as president and CEO of the Southwest Indiana Chamber, which joined forces with the Growth Alliance of Greater Evansville and the Economic Development Coalition of Southwest Indiana to form EREP. Richmond-based Reed Health has announced efforts to reduce cost and streamline operations through a restructuring plan. The health system blames a widening gap between rising expenses and reduced reimbursement rates from insurance providers, which will result in some job cuts. Additionally, Reed plans to close its employee wellness, sports performance, and massage therapy departments. A CNBC report ranking the best states for business puts Indiana at number 13, slightly ahead of where it finished last year. The business news outlet creates its list using 86 metrics across 10 broad categories. From the state's #1 source for Indiana business news, you're listening to Inside Indiana Business Radio. For 25 years, we've had the honor of telling the story of Indiana business. More than 1,300 shows, 8,000 interviews. We've traveled from Valparaiso to Versailles, Fort Wayne to Fort Branch, and everywhere in between. And we are just getting started. Our team is passionate about Indiana business because your story is worth telling. Join us every week as we travel the state to bring you Indiana's story. Inside Indiana Business, 25 years and counting. A University of Notre Dame sociology professor is suing a student publication for defamation based on articles profiling her pro-abortion views, which are contrary to the Catholic University's teachings.
Professor Tamara Kay's complaint centers on 2 articles posted in the Irish Rover, a student-led publication. The first article, published last October, details how Kay, a professor of global affairs and sociology in the university's Keough School of Global Affairs, shared information about access to abortion care after the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade the previous June. The second article, published March 22nd, shares comments Kay made during a discussion hosted by college Democrats following criticism of her earlier actions. Kay alleges generally that both articles contained false and defamatory information. According to the complaint, Kay has been harassed and threatened and has experienced damage to her residential property. She also claims she has suffered mentally and emotionally and has experienced and continues to experience mental anguish and fear for her safety. Alex Brown, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Florida-based Redwire Corporation is expanding its presence in Floyd County. The company, which acquired TechShot in Greenville in 2021, said this week it plans to open a microgravity payload development facility at the new Novapark Innovation and Technology Campus in Edwardsville, also create about 24 jobs. This is Gary Dick for Inside Indiana Business Radio on demand.